some truck stuff. Yeah, that's right. As you saw in the intro sequence, we're going to be doing Project Spicy Denali Roll. That's right, the GMT800 Resto-Mod. Today we're going to be doing some modding. We're going to get more powerless problems, baby. We're going to be installing the Bully Dog GT tuner for the gasser. Oh yeah! So let's get to it, baby. I'm going to walk you through step by step and show you exactly what you need to do so you too can get a spicy roll of your own. Hell yeah! Let's do it. Let's get started. Cue the intro. Oh yeah! All right, man. I am excited for this. This is gonna be something special. I am really excited about this. Bully Dog, like I said, has always been very good, especially for diesels. Well, of course, those are boosted and, those are infinitely more tunable because of their boost. Naturally aspirated, you can only get away with what you can get away with. But what's nice about these old trucks is they don't require big numbers. You don't gotta spin like 450 horsepower or something to really have a great time with them. Already stock, the Denali 6-liter already has quite a bit of horsepower. I mean, it's a minimum 345 and 365 foot-pounds of torque. If we could squeeze just even 10 more out of there with these old trucks as light as they are, all-wheel drive too, and especially if you change up your shift points and shift pressure, so you're now transmitting that power to your wheels. And I wonder if it also alters the all-wheel drive system, because it is specifically for Denali. Wonder about that. That'll be interesting. Either way, you don't have to squeeze a lot, because these trucks are very light, and as long as you can upgrade your transmission tuning, that's the biggest thing. You're going to be able to transmit more power to the actual wheels, and by the butt dyno, it's going to make it pretty freaking substantial. It really does. It doesn't take much. That's the beauty of these things, man. It just don't take much. I'm excited though, because with Super Jank, the Vortex does a really good job. It actually improved the truck tremendously from what it was, and that's a very basic tuner. And Super Jank is not a highly computer-controlled vehicle. It's kind of the early stages of that, but it's still pretty basic, right? It's still largely mechanical. Like, you can bypass a lot of this stuff and it'll run just fine. The GMT800 now is really the first generation where it really becomes very highly computer-controlled. That's both good and bad. Good because it's a stout system, and because you can squeeze more performance out of it. Bad because now you're a little more reliant on actual computer hardware and software to actually do its job. Yeah, you gotta pick and choose. Overall, very good system. Come on, light. Why are you so red? All right, there we go. Overall, pretty damn good system. Very stout, very reliable. Does a great job. So I'm not too terribly worried about it. So far, I haven't had really any major problems. There's some minor glitches, but nothing major. So we're gonna go grab that thing. We're gonna go ahead and do a quick couple of test runs here on stock and see kind of what differences that thing make. Right now we're running 87 on the tank. We have about a half tank of gas left. Right now gas just went up to almost $6 a gallon, so we're gonna kind of stay with 87 for a minute. But when we have a chance, I'll go ahead and top her back up with 92, at least for one tank, do a 92 tune on her, and just see the difference. Because on Super Jank, it is a big difference between 87 and 92 tune. Very big difference, very noticeable. Even 87 over stock is already very noticeable. So it's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to it. But let's go ahead. We're going to turn to the side street here. We'll do a couple of hard squeezes, hard runs, and then we'll see kind of what we can accomplish there. Thank you. That guy was pretty nice. He was signaling me up ahead of time I can go ahead. Perfect. Wonderful. Nice people out here, I tell you what. All right, let's switch the camera around so we can actually catch some zooms here. Here we go. Of course, we've got traffic in front of us. Yippee frickin' skippy. Yippee skippy. Oh, damn it. Now you're turning right in front of me. God damn it. All right, well, let's just give it a little juice. So that is stock still. We're doing all right. There's IKEA. Of course, we're gonna be right here at the Napa. Let's pull in. All right, here we go, Napa. I forgot what I did with my Napa hat. I used to have one. Need to get me another one. Ooh, look at that sexy truck right there. Nice. Needs a nose job, but other than that, she's looking good. There we go. Forgot my dang receipt. All right, let's go back in there. Check that out. Look at this, also does DTC codes as well too. So it already has those 3 tunes, which is the kind of the things I was already talking about. Gauges, of course, to it. And of course, it can hold up to 10 custom tunes. So we can actually go to a tuning place or just download tuning files. There's the front side of it. Sick. Wow. Yeah, Bully Dog I know has a great reputation. So of course this is for the gas. So we can only get so much. We're only naturally aspirated after all. Well, let's pop her in there and let's see what we can do. What else if I didn't cover the camera? Let's open this sucker up. Let's see what we can do. $480. Which actually is not bad considering that Bully Dog, you could do a lot more with Bully Dog. And first of all, you can download custom tunes, which you kind of can with the Vortex. Just nobody really supports the Vortex. So it's not like you can't. It does have a port for that, but you need the fire cable, the old style one, not HDMI like this. Which I still have a fire cable somewhere. Problem is, nobody supports that. So it's just like, yeah, you can't find custom tunes anywhere really for it. Bully Dog, on the other hand, you can. Especially for gassers even. Big time for diesels. Gassers, a little less, but you can still find them because people use them for cars, trucks, you name them. Let's stop jibber jabbering. Let's get the sucker open. Let's go ahead and get her installed and see what we can do with the GMT800 Resto-Mod. Denali! Hell yeah. Let's rock it, baby. Woo! All right. Boom. Let's go ahead and unbox this thing here. I think let's go the other way. There we go. It's gonna be tough to do one-handed here. A little beaten up. Hey, come on. Damn it. Can't really do it one-handed. But I'm gonna try. Let's see. There's the front end of this box here. Oh yeah, there it is. All right. Let's see what we've got coming in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got literature application guide. GMC 6 liter. Express, Savannah, Tahoe, Yukon. Huh. So not specific to Denali per se. It shouldn't matter too much. Anyway, the Chevy Suburban Yukon XL and Yukons, they're all going to be, essentially, if you're getting that 6 liter, they're not usually going to be the 250s. So this is what's nice about it is you can pretty much do all these different vehicles here, which is good, especially if you still have to do, you know, your, what do you call it, that, the stuff that comes out of the shit pipe. Exhaust. There you go. Whatever the fuck that is. Anyway. Let's see here what we can get going. Yeah, 6 liter V8, 2014. This is likely meaning for like the 250, but it's nice that it can encompass several different ones, including the 6.2. Huh. So that's good. I mean, for the price we paid, the benefit is we can run several different vehicles with this thing. And the fact that we have an HDMI cable, we can upload our actual files and save them. That's going to be sick right there. All right. Let's see what else we got in here. Plug your device into the vehicle and get this information. Check for updates. Register the device online, scanning the QR code. Wait for your free gift. Huh. Don't know what it is, but whatever. Free is good. I like free 99. All right, now here's an important bit. You're going to need to pull your fuses out. Now, specifically for our 6 liter here. Wait, this is for 11, 13, 14, 2500, 3500. See, so it's for the heavy duty. It's not for Denali specifically. Now, the heavy duty has 325 horsepower, not 345. So, a little bit lower horsepower for that model here, but this is for 11 and 13 as well, too, which is going to be a little bit higher power, probably more 345. So, we're okay there. So, this is only, before installing, download into GM vehicle, check the vehicles listed on the card. If your vehicle is listed, always pull the fuse mentioned on this card and replace all fuses when the download is complete. Okay, let's see, is our vehicle listed here? 03 to 06, aha, 6 liter right there. We got to pull all those damn fuses. Wow. Huh. Well, that's fucking annoying. Not that big of a deal. But let's see what else we got in here. I'm going to have to do that. Ooh, hello. What the hell is that? Yeah, what's this guy? Oh, SD card. Open first. Nice. We got a little SD card here. Hell yeah. It probably has the tuning file on it. Here's the controller. Oh, it's actually really compact. I thought it would be a little bit chunkier. I want to move that switch over here to that panel. But then it's kind of awkwardly out of the way. Whereas this, I don't really need to access that often. This would almost be better to be mounted right there. That way it's out of the way. Although, here wouldn't be too bad either. At least I can monitor gauges and stuff. I'm going to mount it here for right now. We'll just go with that. Not bad. Okay. Well, I'm going to familiarize myself with this particular strategy here. And then we'll go ahead and get to the actual install process here. Let's see. I got all our cables here, like that. That's the mount for the windshield. Cables are in here. There we go. Oh, sure don't lose my damn SD card because that's probably important. How do you open this sucker? God, I need a filming crew. If you want to film for me, I will film for you. Oh yeah, there's the block. There's everything. Sweet! Well, hell and or yeah. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and familiarize myself with the quick start guide, get everything set up here, and then we'll go ahead and start installing. And get her done, and then we'll go ahead and test run her. I think they'll be sick as shit. So, I'm going to get started. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsor, not sponsor. I don't know who that is yet, but we'll figure that out. Anyway, we'll be right back. Somebody set off the fire alarm in Napa. Oh shit, that's funny. Everyone's all evacuated outside right now. Probably somebody was trying to smoke a little herb in the back over there. Who knows? Anyway, quick update on this whole process here. Yeah, this is a lot more involved than the Vortex. Vortex, you just plug and play, you're good to go. Which is probably why it's not as powerful of a tuner. That, and it's also a more basic type of electronic truck, so it's not anything major. However, you're gonna see over here that we're gonna first of all have to identify the correct fuses. So we have to pull like 7 fuses first before we do the download. And before we do that, we're gonna have to identify which pole is the negative pole. Apparently our plug-in spade over here, which actually requires a crimp and everything, which we're gonna have to do probably first at home back at the shop, is actually directional. So we have to make sure that we put it into the right direction with the right polarity. And then the SD card does not have software yet updated on it. We're gonna have to go and update it using our beast of a computer. And then we can go ahead and finish the whole install process here. So a lot more involved than the other one there. Not bad, which is great because this is actually a much more important and stronger tune and stronger device. Works great for a variety of different vehicles. Gives plenty of options, plenty of things that we could do, especially if you even want to ever upgrade to a GMT800, diesel, anything else. And we can also do my dad's truck too, which I think he'll be very happy with. This is exactly what I wanted. So I'm very, very happy that I was able to get it. Kind of hard to find these anymore for these older trucks. So I'm so happy they at least had one somewhere in Washington, D.C. that they could ship. And a day and a half, it was pretty freaking quick for no added cost. So way to go, Napa. And way to go, the guy who helped me out there. I don't want to put your name out there. I don't know if you want to be on YouTube or not. But you'll know who you are. I'm mopping what you're slopping. You'll know exactly who you are if you see this. That was so funny, man. I'm going to be using that from now on. That is hilarious. And then you're digging where the taters are. You know exactly who you are. Anyway, thank you. You hooked me up just right. That is exactly what I was looking for. Fantastic. Great job on getting the delivery here on time. Yeah, we're going to have to head back to the shop. So, back to you, Fuzzy Boy, up at the shop this weekend to go ahead and do our install. Let's get back to it, shall we? Woo! Actually, if you guys want to see something real quick, check out how high up we are. Hi. It's a bit up. All right, let's head up under the hood here. We have to identify a 10 or 15 amp fuse. That is key on only. So let's go ahead and go do that. All right, well, thanks for joining me. Let's go identify these fuses here. I got my multimeter. The hell did I just do with it? Son of a bitch. All right, well, we got to find the multimeter again. Oh, there it is. All right, let's bring our tool card over here. Let's go ahead and identify a 10 to 15 amp fuse that is key on only. And that's going to be the main power source for the actual BAT module, which is going to feed into our actual thingamajig, the actual whatever controller. Ah, yeah. There we go. That should do. There's no tool card at hand here, so that's good. All right, let's get identifying some fuses here. Let's go. Let's go ahead and get our box open here. Get our cables out and everything else out that we need. There we go. Got some Velcro there, which is good. Got some stickers, because apparently for emissions you have to have the stickers in place there. And this is the guy we need here. It's got the spade here, and then it's also got the tap for the power fuse. This is your HDMI cable, which is the power cable here. We have to crimp that in place there. We have to do a fresh cut on that guy. This is the power cable, so this is what we're going to have to feed to the actual BAT device. Now, there's the BAT. So BAT actually now feeds into your OBD2 and lives there, essentially. And then what you do is once you power this son of a bitch right there, it's already got a fuse in place here, which is good. It's already pre-fused. Looks good. And then you're able to do, here's your downloading ports here, and then here's your HDMI, which actually runs to your controller. And then of course you plug in. And here's how you can actually disconnect and turn the thing off, which is either you go to key or you can go to full battery power. So you can choose whichever one. So we're going to run key only right here. So hopefully we can find a key on switch. Let's locate that next. And we're going to have to do that under the dash right here. Let's see how much cable we have first of all. Should be long enough. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we got plenty. That's going to be plenty to be able to feed all the way through there. Yeah, we're good. All right, cool. Cool, a deal. All right, well, let's go ahead and do our crimpy shrimp. Now we can go ahead and get that part done, and then we can go ahead and identify a fuse, and then we got to pull the other fuses, install this whole system, put it into place, and then we can go ahead and just download it and see. Hopefully the SD card is enough in there. I don't know. I wasn't able to update it. There's no way. Fine, I guess. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and do that part next. Let's go ahead and crimp this, get our spade and our tapper ready here. Right here, because it has to kind of fit around the tooth of a fuse. It's kind of how it goes. So we have to identify maybe the fuse first, but we're going to go ahead and crimp this part down, and then this will just plug right in, right once we identify the fuse that we can tap into. We have to identify the proper polarity of it too. So that's why we have our multimeter here. You can also do it with a light, but multimeter at least will tell you the directionality. So that's how we're going to do it. Let's go ahead. I'm going to get my crimping tool. Let's get started. So here's the tools you're going to need, of course. You're going to need this for a little bit later once we get back under the hood there. So we'll put this off to the side. This is just an empty box. Get that out of here. Now we're going to need, of course, our power cable, which is this guy right here. Close the rest of my drawers. You're going to need, of course, either wire strippers and a little crimper tip there, or even one of these big style here from Harbor Freight. Again, both of them from Harbor Freight, our warehouse of fun. Let's go ahead and strip this guy off. Looks like the copper looks pretty good. Right, so we're just going to put that off there. We're going to put the spade on and crimp it first. So let's see if this is deep enough here. We don't want to lose this a little bit, so I'm going to put this back into the bag and put it off to the side there. All right. Let's see. So it looks like, yeah, it's just kind of just a standard kind of like tube style crimp right there, almost like a splicer. Let's see if we have enough room there. Usually like I do with the fog lights, I like to twist up my fibers on the stranded cables, just so they fit nice and tight and clean in there. Make sure she seats all the way in there. Good, something kind of like that. Let's go ahead and crimp her down. No, that didn't stay, didn't stick. All right, let's crimp her down a little bit more there. Need a bigger crimper here. That's the crimper part right there. There you go. Want a good crimp and good connection there. I could sometimes just kind of feed it in a little bit this way too, because they're not very good for crimping because you don't have enough force. This one you have quite a bit of force, but there's a cutter there, so you have to be careful not to do the cutter side, your crimper side. And then you can kind of bend that center part in with the toothed part. Gotta make sure it locks in there. There you go. Make sure she locks. Good. All right, so now that's prepped. We're good to go. All right, now we gotta head under the hood of the truck there to the main box and find a key on 10 to 15 amp fuse. Let's go. Let's pop this sucker off here. Boom. All right, so now we can get disoriented here. So let's see. Cigarette lighter, we know for sure, is going to be always on. Now we also have to pull some fuses as well too, so let's make sure that we pull one that is not going to operate unless we have the power on. I don't want to plug into any PCM or anything, because I think that's going to be not fun. Trailer parking brake, that might be fine. That is a 15 amp, and I'm sure that that does not kick on unless battery power is on. And how we're going to test that, and that doesn't look like that's one of those that we're going to have to pull. All right, here's that card right here. So 03 to 06, we're going to need to pull these ones inside the cab, and then under hood, we're going to have to do 16, 38, and radio. So those here are going to be probably different numbers here. Usually these have some kind of numbering to them, but in this case it does not. We know that we're not going to pull 15 trailer parking brake, so that's good. Four-wheel drive system, we don't want to tap into that because that's not going to be good for us here. So we're going to tap into the 15 amp right here. Oh, excuse me. Let's go ahead and get our puller, and let's go ahead and clamp her on in. Let's do it. Got a little fuse puller here, and we have a pair of pliers in case we need it. Let's go and pull out. Oh, before we do that, we actually have to test the poles here. Make sure that we are not going to be pulling power unless that thing is on. The hell did I do with my... here's the voltage tester. Otherwise, we can also switch it over to just straight battery power, which is another option as well, too. It does give you that option at least. But we don't really need to have to do that. All right, let's see here. So all you have to do is just touch. You have exposed little metal tidbits right here on top of the fuse. So there's no power there, okay? Let's go ahead and put the key on, and then we'll go ahead and see what happens. Where the hell did I put the keys now? There they are. All right. Let's go ahead and switch the key on, and then we're going to see if that powers up. Let's go. All right. And basically just going into accessory mode. That's it. Let's go ahead and get a fuse tap into place here. That's what that little piece of metal is called. Oh, now powered on. Okay. Let's go ahead and just install our fuse tap here. All right, so it does give us the option to go from key to battery. So I don't quite like that idea. I'd rather go to key mode. Let's go ahead and just put our tap in place here. Get that ready and lined up. We're just going to go to rear parking brake, and we're going to uprate the fuse to 10 instead of a 15. All right, so now, according to that thing, let's see the orientation. Maybe that might help a little. So according to that little paper directions here, if you're looking at the number like this, which doesn't really tell you much of anything, it wants you to put the fuse tapper right here. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to seat it into the prong, like this. And you're going to seat it all the way down, if you can get to it. And it should clip over the top of your fuse there. If you can get that on there. I don't know if you can get that on there. I have to bend this open a little, and then bend it closed there afterwards. Let me get the pliers out. The needle nose here. I just have to open this up just a wee bit, and then we can close it back on there. Just enough to be able to make that turn there. All right, so we're looking at 15. Slide it up all the way. And this needs to clamp on there, like that. There we go. I can set that on there. And I can bend this part down just a little bit. Ow. Fucking A. Fucking A. All right, there we go. Now it's just clamped on there pretty damn good. All right, so there we go. That's what our power's gonna power our thingy. I'm not recording on the mic. All right, well, whatever. I think we're out of battery on the mic. That's probably why. God, we've been up here for hours. Yeah, something just totally drained the battery of the microphone there. It's amazing stuff. Something up here drains all batteries. It just drains the batteries. And it's not the cold. It's like it swipes the power. And somehow everything disappears, man. I swear it's some haunting shit. Like, seriously. Like, it's gotta be some fucking ghosts. Or mice or something. I don't know. One of those two things. Anyway, let's go ahead and plug this guy back in. Over here. Careful that we don't shock ourselves now. There we go. Not quite plugged in all the way. I get that plastic thing because I don't want to touch the tab there. My bare hand. Is that kind of sitting sideways? Oh yeah, because the tab is kind of holding it up a little bit. Hopefully it holds well enough. Looks like it will. Okay. So now we got to run the cable out somewhere without pinching it. Maybe I didn't think this all the way through. Is there a hole over here? Not really. It's a hole down there. I have to run with the cap off until I can modify the cap until then. All right, well, whatever. I just need to get this done at this point. Okay, so now we got a power wire. Gonna untangle this son of a bitch. Put it here. And we're gonna have to run it into the cab here, which is pretty straightforward. We're just gonna do just like we did with the fog lights there. All right, so what we're just gonna do is we're just gonna tuck it into here for right now. And we can always do a more important install later. Just run it inside the door frame here under the weather stripping. There we go. Give us enough tail in the car. Boom. All right, good. The rest of this we'll have to bunch somewhere else. But for right now, just keep her over here. Okay. All right, now we're just going to plug it into our tab here. Make sure we're locked in. Okay. Kind of a loose fit on this thing. I don't know if I trust that so much. Huh. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, I guess we just have to unplug it every time we Oh, actually, no, this is a rear brake, so this should hopefully stay on battery only. Might have to leave the cap off for now until I can modify this cap enough to be able to put that on there. But anyway, we have to pull some fuses. All right, so now we got to go ahead and orient ourselves with the numbering system here somehow, because we need to do TBC battery computer, or body computer. Okay, fine. So TBC, we got TBC ignition. We need TBC bat. Oh, here's TBC bat. Okay, so TBC bat is right here. This 10 ampere that's right next to our thingamajig. So we got to pull this guy. If we can get it out without ruining shit. There we go. Make sure he's still good. Yeah, it's still good. All right, so TBC bat is that guy. Cool. Let's put this down so we don't spill our shit. All right, like something like that. Make sure it don't fall. All right. Then we got to do TBC ignition, which is the one I found already, which is the 10 amp. Out of this 4 here, under SIR, which is your 15. Under the fog, rear defroster, which is 30. Actually, is the rear defroster good? Yeah, it is. So I got to fix also what's happening with the rear defroster, but because the summertime is coming, kind of don't need it as much anymore. All right, so now we got to pull that guy. Okay. Ignition 1. All right. And then 50, which is radio. Now we have a radio amp, and then just radio, which is 15. I'm assuming it's just a radio, which is 15, which is going to be this guy here, right next to our cigarette lighter, which we replaced with a 20, because whatever the hell was pulling on it so much, probably the charger. All right, so we got that. Radio 15 out. Rear wiper, which is here, which is 25. That's 25. Next to a 15, and this is a 15. So SEOB1 is right here. Good. So that's kind of what you do right here. Now, inside the cab, we got to pull SEO accessory, TBC 2B, 2C, TBC accessory, and TBA 2A. All the body computer stuff. So let's go inside and let's do that part next. We need SEO accessory, STBC, 2B, 2C, accessory, 2A. That's what we need to pull under here. And they're numbered, but they may not correspond necessarily with your numbering pattern. All right, so we got to orient ourselves here. SEO accessory right there. So there's a 10 amp. Okay, so now we're oriented the right way, which is good. Let's go and pull the 10 amp out. Here's our first 10 amp right here as we're going from this side this way. Okay. Is that in order there? Good. Now we got to do TCB2B, which is going to be where? I need to put this somewhere else so it don't fall off. Maybe here in the center console. Hopefully I don't knock them off, but I have plenty at least. All right. TCB ignition. Do we need that one? No, we need body computer. Okay. SEO accessory. TCB accessory, which is the next 10 amp on the side of the 25, which is the washer of the windshield wiper. Okay, we got that one. 2C here, 2A and 2B. So the next 3 are going to be right here in a cluster. All right, so now we got it. And those are all 15, 15, 15. And then we have TCB accessory, which is a 10. So your next 10, and then the 3 15s at the base there, which are right here. If you can, oh shit. Of course, it has to be in a spot where you can't reach to. Always. GM. As much as I love this truck, it's also a pain in the ass, the way they designed it. I got a pair of needle nose here. It's also why they tell you to have some pliers at hand. There we go. That way I can fit the thing in there. Cool. Let's see how the fuse is quality. Must check the fuses while we're doing this. So we got 10, 10. And we got to do 15, 15, which is right here. All 3 of those 15s right there at the base. Yeah. All right, cool. So we got everybody. We got TCB bat, TCB ignition, radio. TCB, so we got access, SEO access, yes. We got TB access, yes. We got TB, 2B, 2B, yes. C, yes. A, yes. Just make sure under the cab we got all of them. Let's see, so we should have then TCB bat, which is going to be bat, which is that 10 amp. Yep, we got it. It's out, good. Ignition, TCB ignition, yeah, TCB ignition, which is that 10 amp. She's out, good. Radio out, good, perfect. All right, well, those are all the fuses we need to pull. Now we can go ahead and run our shit and plug it in. That's all we can do now. Let's go ahead and do that part next.
Okay, so now we're here in the process of actually updating this software here. I'm watching one of my shorts, latest short on the channel. Go check it out. It's pretty freaking awesome. I think you'll like it. Yeah, this is the comparison between the crossbow and the air rifle. It's pretty sick and freaking sweet, so I think you'll like it all. Go ahead and check it out. Anyway, here we go. We have this going on. You're going to need to download this light duty update agent. But for that, I realized we're going to have to do an additional step. So in order to do that, you're going to have to download the Microsoft.NET Framework 3.5 from the actual Microsoft Store. So you just go up here to actual Microsoft in the download center, and you have to download that, install it, get all that installed, because if you have anything after 2014, you're going to need this new update here. Then you go directly to over here to Bully Dog, and for this, you're going to have to go through the knowledge base here. So after you get over here, you're going to go click search knowledge. So you're going to go up here to support, then you're going to go here to knowledge base, and then you're going to go device updater. So you can find this, and then also you're going to have to find the agent. So you're going to have to find your thing here. Yeah, we don't need to format that because ours is already formatted. As for Ford, Nissan, Toyota, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, GMC, Chevrolet. Here's a number here, 4410. Oh, okay, so good. We don't have to do the formatting process for this particular one. But if you do have one of the newer vehicles, you're going to need to do all these guys here based on your actual GT number. So you have a little SD card reader that comes with it, and you plug in your little SD card here. I'm going to go into one of my hyper ports. What the hell? It just doesn't show up. Maybe this particular model doesn't need updating, because I know this covers a lot of different vehicles. I mean, maybe it just doesn't need it. It's always possible. Maybe it just doesn't need an update. Well, fuck it. I guess I'm not going to update it. All right, let's just go install it and be done with this thing, I guess. All right, so this is everything we need. We need our SD card. We have to plug this sucker in to SD card reader right there. Yeah, that's the port right there. Then we have our mini HDMI, but we're not going to be needing that until we upload. And then we need to plug this guy in here. And then of course we got our windshield mount here. Just going to get that sucker out. This will mount up in just a sec here. We don't need this mounted just yet. We'll get that prepped and ready. And of course we have our two-sided Velcro tape here for our actual box, which our box is going to have to feed into our OBD2. And I want to keep it up out of the way so it's not impeding with anything there. Keep this somewhere plugged up out of the way here. I need somewhere where I can also stick it to. What's over here? That's some good stuff right there. Let's see. So if I run it like this, underneath here, and run it right there. That way I have enough space for everything, and I can operate the switch kind of like this. There we go. And then we can keep our cables all together. Something like that maybe. Or something like that maybe, I guess, for right now. And then we'll do a cleaner install when we have a little more time. Yeah, so I think I'm going to pop her right there. Actually, I might just pop her right there. I don't know. I'll just pop her underneath here maybe, I think. That's where I'm going to put her. Make sure that's clean over there. So a little dab of brake clean here, just enough to be able to clean that off. Make sure we have the proper adhesion here. Okay, right down here. Somewhere kind of flat-ish, maybe over here somewhere. Alright. Something kind of like that. Dry, let it dry a little bit. Alright, that seems pretty good. Cool. Alright. Let's go ahead and put our double-sided tape on it. We'll mount our box right there, I think. Okay, double-sided tape right here. Let's see, we're gonna go kind of sideways like that, I think. That would be best. Make sure we have enough cable here. What you do, and we're going to kind of mount it kind of this way for right now. There we go, kind of like that. So we can reach over there. Good. Okay. So now we got that done, and we got to pop in our SD card into our actual device here. Let's get rid of the plastic. Get that out of there. All right, let me keep this in there. And then you have to put your stickers. You have several different stickers here. You're going to have to put all over specific places on your car to be able to show your admission system or your emissions tester that you are tuned. Otherwise, apparently, I guess you get a fine or something. Unfortunately, we don't do any more emissions reading here. Doesn't say which way this thing goes, huh? Like this, I guess? I guess. I mean, it's not fighting me, so I guess. Okay. Got that loaded in there. Cool. All right, that is prepped. Now we're going to go ahead and get our power cable from over here by the door. Going to run her down kind of underneath here. Right now, kind of keep her out of the way. Keep her out of the way. And then we need to plug this guy in right here. Alright. Something kind of like that. Keep this tucked up out of the way here. tucked up out of the way here. And tucked up kind of inside of that door here, maybe. Kind of something like this here. There we go, something kind of like that. And keep it out of the way. And the little zip tie all in place here. Alright, something kind of like that. There we go. Cool. Alright, we got that part done. Alright, now we got that done. Connect the adapter plug to the diagnostic port under the driver's side dash. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Like here. Okay. Okay, and now I have to switch over to battery power. So right now we are on key. And let's go battery that way. Okay. Because bat is that way. So power GT slider onto adapter plug in bat position. Okay. But first, before we do that, let me turn this off here real quick. So I can go ahead and plug in the HDMI cable. This is your mini HDMI. Don't lose this thing. You're going to need to keep this for the other process here. Tuck that away. Alright. So now we need to get to our HDMI port, which is up in the front there. Okay. Then we're going to need to run this thing over. Guess I don't want to lose this thing, so I'm going to pack this guy away here. Nice and tight. I had to stop and help find some other house wine that we made about 4 years ago now, so it's well aged. It's pretty good. Got some sediment, but it's not bad. It didn't turn acrid. Up here is a pretty stable area for wine in terms of like aging it and stuff. And let's see if we can plug the sucker in here. Okay, let's see here. Let's get this plugged in. Okay, got that plugged in. I have to figure out how I'm going to route this fat ass cable here somewhere, because I want it to be up out of the way. And let's see, this has to have the interface plugging right behind it. Okay, so that's not great. Alright, let's see. Maybe I put this thing too far out. Who knows? See if I run it kind of like this. Up the backside here. Can I run it under this thing? Yes, I can. Okay. Good, good, good. So that way I can kind of get it up there. Okay, now let's get our mount. Okay, so this is our mountie here. Oh, I got glass cleaner. Hold on 1 second. I actually have glass cleaner. Hold on, I was going to just spit it from our window repair series. Still have some of this left. Perfect. All right. I kind of want to stick it around here somewhere. Okay. Now this, I have to put the latch, so I'm going to put it kind of like this so I can latch it in. Now this, how does this thing latch in there? This has to go on kind of like that. Okay, so like that. That's how it goes. So you kind of plug it in like this. You see that thing there? Put it into that little cutout. You slide it over. It has to go this way because you see there's a break right there. So plug it in this way. Click it over. All right. So then this thing needs to kind of go sideways. All right. So now I'm going to have to lick this up so it actually sticks in there. As gross as this is probably your best method of doing it. All right. Cool. Let's see. Now I have to reach all the way here. Like something like that. Kind of want to keep this about right here. Something kind of like that there. Okay. Push it firm. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. And you have to put that latch down. Something like that. Okay. Is that locked? Yeah, it's locked. I like it as it has at least a little latch to it, so it's going to be a little bit easier. Go ahead and maneuver this thing a little bit like that. So you can kind of eye the gauges here. Yeah, something like kind of like that. Okay. That looks pretty good. You guys can see anything? Not really. All right. There we go. So that's where we're going to mount it a little bit on an angle like that. Looks pretty damn good. All right. Now we got to do the actual plug-in process. So, all right. Now we have to switch this over to battery power after we plug this guy in. Let's go ahead and get this underneath here. Behind here. Okay, got that. So now you have to come underneath here and you have to go from key to battery power. Let's see, does it even power on? Holy crap, it actually got power. And look at that. Cool. Let's go ahead and get this thing off. Is that upside down? Motherfucker. That is actually upside down. Oh shit. Okay, well, flip her over the other way. Fortunately, this thing can twist around too. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Put that down a little bit. Okay, like that. Cool. Just gonna peel this off. Oh yeah, satisfying. All right, please insert micro SD card and be ready to select your vehicle. Okay, well, we already did that. Okay. Chevy. Well, we need GM. Let's go down. GMC right there. Okay, Yukon, which is that guy. What? Okay, well, it's not giving us the 6.0 liter. Hold on. What the fuck now? Look at this. Yeah, 6.0 here for Yukon XL. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely heavy duty. Nope. That's not what we want. Okay. Oh, this is not going to be the right one. Okay, let's try Savannah. 6.0. 03 2007. Okay, well, we just have to go with that. Savannah XL. All right, well, I guess. Well, Savannahs are also all-wheel drive as well, too, the 1500, so not that bad of a deal. Okay. Okay, do not unplug or cycle key, it said. Okay. Yeah, it said it's going to chirp for 5 seconds, so let's see. Bully dog. Okay, she's coming up. Cool, cool, cool. Gauge tuner. Okay. Attention, California residents. Well, it doesn't apply to me yet, so it's illegal to use this product on any vehicle in California that has not been. Well, go F yourself. I don't care. Is that it? Okay, so what do I do? All right, so let's see. Okay, download. Okay, so we did that. Check fuses. We did that. Check your battery. We did that. Turn electrics on off. Okay, we did that. Okay, so we did that. Go to main menu, top left. Stability mode disabled. I don't want that. I want my stability mode on. Oh, that's right, because we pulled a bunch of fuses, so maybe. Hopefully it puts stability mode back on, because I want stability mode on. Okay, verify. GM gas, Yes, classic GM gas. Which is perfectly fine. Yes. Are you the owner of this vehicle? Yes. Are you the owner of this vehicle? Yes. Do I have to read this again? What? Okay. Oh, here we go. Now I can agree. I was doing it wrong. So you have to go all the way down. 58 info? Oh, we have to pull info? It doesn't say anything about info. Okay, let's go ahead and pull info here real quick. Let's just get there. Pliers here. That stupid plastic don't work for shit. Gotcha. Because that's info. I'm going to pull radio amp because I'm just not convinced that it should not be pulled. You know what I mean? There we go. So we don't have to worry about it. All right, cool. We got that done. All right, let's do the next one. Yes, continue. Turn key to off position. Okay, off position. Hopefully it's going to put my stability control back on because I like it on. Turn key to the run position. Okay. Determine vehicle type. Please wait. Do not unplug GT. Okay, cool. Hopefully this thing works after all this work here. If not, we'll take it off and return it, I guess. ABS, yeah. Oh yeah, ABS is off. Traction is off. It's okay because we kind of unplugs up. Engine. Okay. Now it's doing something. Reading. La 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 la. Okay, well, we just do a time lapse and let her do its thing. Oh yeah, because we did go to key on power. That's right. Okay, now I remember. So we're doing okay. All right, at least we did key on power, so we can turn this off and on if we need to. So that part's good. All right, well, let's see. Let's do this thing. Okay, it's actually cycling through. Good. Clearing the driver data now. Stability system disabled. I want it to be re-enabled, but you can re-enable it through here, which is good. Yep, we see it doing its thing. Cycling through everything. Let's go ahead and quickly measure our tire size here so we can plug that in real quick. Yeah, we're at 31 inches. All right, perfect, right there. 31 inch. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and do 31 inches. Just like Tahoe, or the Super Jank, I should say. Let's go ahead and plug that in. Because it is going to be a little bit different than stock because we are running some fatter tires here. So see, yes. So adjust. Oops. 31 inches. Yes. Cool. Interior. Tune. Alright, she's running. Stability system disabled, which I don't like. I want the stability system on.
which probably is because the fuse is pulled, which is okay. Hopefully we can put that back on. I think we can. If nothing else, at least through this thing, we can put through this. We can put it on, or we can also put it on through the actual vehicle computer, through the main computer here. All right, let's see what happens. Let her run, and then I'll take her for a test after we put everything back. Please wait, do not plug the GT. Exclamare. Okay. Now this is something you can actually leave plugged in permanently, so that's good. Boom. Cool. So you got throttle percentage, RPM, speed, coolant. I mean, that's at least a little bit. Yeah, that's throttle right there. That's kind of cool that we have the throttle percentage. I kind of want to keep that. But you can adjust all your different gauges here, so we're going to play around with that. Cool. Well, that's it. All right, let's plug our shit back in and go for a run, I guess. I mean, after all this work, we better. Let's go ahead and clean up our install here. Try to tidy her up for the best we can, kind of hide these cables as much as we can. And then zip tie everything down, put our fuses back in. Let's go ahead and do that first. And then we can go ahead and go romp it. Let's go and do that. I'm excited. Let's see what Bully Dog can do for us. All right. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just seating it with the pliers. Get around this cable here. And kind of pushing it out with my finger as I get it in place there. Okay, let's see. All right, now this guy, you can get it down around there. Let's head under the fuse, or under the big block over there. So that's what I was explaining to Fuzzy Paw, that I'm pretty sure, because obviously, you know, they do this at the factory, is they probably, or not probably, they definitely put everything in, you know, on the chassis, installed it, and then put the body right on top. And that's probably why you have all that shit right in the flipping way. God damn, was it frustrating though. I can see now why they charge an arm and a leg for this kind of shit. God damn, that was a pain in the dick. All right, so that is a what? That is a 15. Should we need a 10 for the battery? All right. So TCB bat, need a 10 amp. Okay. Kind of amazing that this little flimsy thing is able to hold power. I'm kind of impressed by that, to be honest. Probably could have plugged into like just a different fuse for power, to be honest, but this way we know for sure that that's key on. At least I hope. Anyway, radio amp, which is 30, needs to go there. Okay, plug that in. Info 15. It's right next to it, so it needs to plug in. Okay, that's the infotainment system. Cool. That's the next thing we gotta do. We gotta upgrade our infotainment system and put in a backup camera. I think that's something that's very, very important for you guys that you would actually like to know. Yep, that was a sparker. All right, whatever. Is it still good? That's radio. Okay, well, if the radio don't turn on, then we know why. All right, always end up with one left. Yeah, TCB ignition. So that's right above the HVAC, which is above the rear wiper. Just under it. So that's this guy right here. Cool. All right, fuses are all back in. Look at that. You know, a little bit involved, but overall a pretty easy install. Now we just have to clean this all up, somehow pack it in such a way where we can actually, you know, get to it. I don't know how I'm going to run this cable out of here, because I don't want to pinch it. It's going to cut right there into there, isn't it? Maybe. What I might have to do, I might have to just slit this here real quick, I think, just to make a little bit of space there for that to come out. Then I could kind of run it in here, at least for right now. I think that's what I'm going to do here real quick. Hold on a sec here. Let me go ahead and just cut that open real quick here. Well, this is where the little M12 hacksaw comes into play here. Very, very useful for this kind of small jobs. There we go, just kind of hack a bit out of there. Lay the cable kind of flat, which doesn't get hacked off by the box there. There we go, perfect. Cool. Easy chopeasy. We're just going to leave the rest of this kind of tailed into here for right now, because it's not going to short anything. It's all insulated. Okay. Still kind of impedes on that wire there, which is going to rub eventually. Yeah, I see it's already pushing on there. I don't quite like that, so I might have to suction this thing off too, just a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that here real quick. See where does that line up to? Right there. Okay. So we're going to cut that section right there. Let's go ahead and get the battery back on. There we go. There we go. Let's give her enough breathing room. Let's get the little jagged edge out. There we go. Got it. Woo! Anyway, we're not going to be taking this tuner off of this thing anytime soon, so I think it's perfectly fine. Oh yeah, look at that. Now she actually has some breathing room. No pinch, no rub. Fantastical. All right, now we got to just kind of bunch all this up here. How much are we doing on battery there? Amazingly, decently. Okay, cool. All right, let's go ahead and kind of pack everything away here. Let's go ahead and clean up our duties. I need to bunch this somewhere. Should have been writing notes for work and stuff, but I didn't. Because, well, I just didn't want it today. Okay, so I'm going to kind of zip tie these guys together. Where's this stick coming from? Get that guy out of there. Alright, do we have anywhere to zip tie to? We do not. Okay, so we're going to have to, actually we could probably zip tie to this little drain line right here. Might be alright, just enough to keep her out of the way. So I want to keep this away, and we want to pack it away even further than that. Let's pack it more over here, so just so that sharp part of the latch doesn't come down and cut this stupid thing. Something kind of like that, maybe. Yeah, that should work. Okay, now we need to tape this kind of up against the wall here. Or maybe just tape it kind of up along here and run it out this way. This way it doesn't get cut or bunched. Okay. Pretty cool, just like that. And just pack it under there. Okay, just have to kind of keep her up out of the way. Get this guy off here too. Okay, there, just to keep her out of the way, that latch coming down. Pack her kind of in there. Good. All right, looks pretty damn clean, actually. All right, let's go under the dash. Let's secure everything. Let's put our cap back on. And let's go for a run. Let's see what we can do with this damn thing. Let's see if she actually even actually works. That'd be great. Holy crap. It'd be great if she does. All right. Okay, let's see. I need to somehow pack our wires in such a way where they don't get all ding-a-linged. Pack this behind here, maybe, like that. Okay. That can maybe stay like that. That's perfectly okay. Now this guy I really want to take up out of the way here on this HDMI cable. Okay, let's see. Maybe if I tie them together like this, kind of position like that, I guess. That might work. All right, let's do that. Okay. Might do a little bit more of a better install once we have to take the dash off anyway, because I want to run that other light cable kind of back and behind the dash there to the other side. There we go. Kind of keep her up out of the way so I don't keep hitting it with my foot or something. Cool. Something like that. Kind of this guy. Can maybe go over here. Tie it to this one. Kind of loose. Okay, something like this. Okay, over here. Now, supposedly with this thing, you can actually change on the fly your tuning, which would be pretty neat in case you want to do tow or do a hill descent a little bit more controlled or something. Packed it up in there so it stays kind of flush like this. Yeah, something like that. There we go. That should be pretty good. So it's flushing out of the way. Cool. Now we gotta go up here on this side. Oh, we gotta go up here on this side here. And then run this a little bit deeper under there. Okay. More packed into that. put this underneath the window seal, I guess. Maybe not. Not quite. Not quite. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to figure out somehow to attach this to something and keep it up out of the way there. Okay, something got me that, I guess, for right now. I guess that should be okay. All right, let's see if we can shut that door. Put this hatch back on. See if the hatch can kind of keep her out of the way there a little. There we go. Kind of pinches it up out of the way, which is pretty good. Okay, that should be just fine. Just like that for right now. Okay, and then we're gonna get these guys kind of tied up together real quick here. Just kind of hold them all together. And get this guy in there too, actually. Keep everybody kind of tied up together here. All right, keep them out of the door jam for right now. And maybe later when we come back to do a polishing part of the project, be able to kind of open up the dash, get them running through the firewall, get this wire over there, be able to run everything a lot cleaner. All right, here on this end, up with the door jam, I kind of want to get this zip tied up here too. There we go. So keep those nice and tight so they can get pinched. And there we go. That's it. All right, well, let's see. Will she actually still start? See, everything is all buttoned up. Make sure we're all clear of everything. And we'll go ahead and get her cranking. And we'll get her out of here. And then we'll go ahead and take it for a quick test run. And then we'll come back and pack everything away. All right, make sure we're all clear. All clear. Clear, clear, clear. Good, good, good. Cool. Well, let's see if the truck will at least still start. And we can maybe go for a quick test run here and see what we can do. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Ready? Test running. Will this come on? If it does in fact come on with key, that's good. Perfect. GT tuner, does that come on? Looks like our traction control is back on, which is great. So it's good. I want to keep that on. I like that. I do need to top up the washer fluid. That's something I need to do before we go there. Initialize communication. Boom. There we go. Well, look at that. Ain't that some cool shit? I wonder how she's gonna run. I'm excited to try this. How come we're at 16% throttle? It's probably because it's cold, maybe that's why. Dude, she's running very, very smooth. Actually sounds smoother than she did before. Okay. Well, I'm excited to try her. Let's see. Pretty straightforward system. Once you get the actual install part done. I mean, honestly, it's very straightforward. A little less straightforward than Super Jank, but not bad. Well, let's go ahead and we'll get cleaned up. We'll get the truck out of here, get the tractor back in here, and we'll go for a test run, and let's see what she can do. I'll be back with you guys, for you in a millisecond. For me, a little bit. I'll get back to you, and then we'll go for a run. Let's do it. Okay, well, clearly, daylight went away from us, but check this out. It shows you throttle position there. Whoa! Okay, I didn't really get much on throttle. It was only 20%. Holy balls. The one that has very, very good signal right now from the O2 sensor, so now it knows how to fuel properly, because it was dumping a lot of raw fuel, which is not great. It actually, unless you're like wide open throttle and introducing a lot of air, it's not helping you any. That shift was good. That was like, it kicked in right away instead of that little sloppiness, and then it like revs up and then it goes. Oh, very, very nice. There's a kid over there. Hey. And then I wonder if that was maybe, there was like a little side-by-side, two-person side-by-side in police colors with police lights going through the freaking neighborhood. And that was just so weird. And I see the kid over there. I don't know, maybe it was just like a thing that they're doing just for fun or something. I don't think it was actually police. Like it had the colors but no livery on it. So I'm like, I wonder. But it's weird. I know they do have those like for the sheriff and stuff, but I don't know about here for the city. Weird. And we're gonna take her out here on the more open road, and we're gonna stop and fuel because we only have a little bit of gas to move my ass for tomorrow. But damn, that was the tripod falling over. Dang, I mean, so far she is kicking in gear very, very nice. Yeah, it was definitely a solenoid problem for sure. I mean, that's why we also checked the transmission fluid as well too, just to be addedly sure. Shortly add. But that's looking pretty good. Very, very accurate reading here. Let's get it over here so you guys can see. Shows you exactly how much throttle. You can change those gauges, of course, to show you whatever, but I kind of like this gauge because now it gives me a much more clear coolant and speed and everything, which is very, very nice. I really like that actually. It helps quite a bit. Don't have to do like 4 different systems like I have for Super Jank just to get essentially the same damn thing going on. So that's pretty sick. I like that. All right, well, let's see how she runs, man. I'm excited. Just that little 20% punch was like, whoa. And of course, we got our headlight readjusted here. I don't know why that thing was bent, but now it's actually like lighting exactly with the other one, so that's perfect. It's not shooting low anymore. All right, well, let's see. This thing took off like a freaking scalded squirrel, so head check, check, checkmate. Let's go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Get her on the open here. That was a lot more reactive than I had anticipated. That was just me getting on it normally like I would to get up to speed. I did not expect that. Europeans always say like, man, it's just amazing that your big engines produce a little power. Well, they're cucked from the factory, and they're cucked because of longevity. We have long, wide open roads, right? You don't have a lot of places to stop. You need an engine that runs cool, is under stressed, and can handle the long distance abuse. That's the reason why. And of course we tow and haul with them and stuff. So we need an engine that is not high strung and high revved and everything. And of course this has towing mode as well too, in 92 tune. But we need a just kind of a less powerful engine that's detuned. And well, that's a nice kick in, man. That was firm. That was firm. That wasn't sloppy. It wasn't rubber bandy. It was just like immediately bam, into gear. Boom, move. Oops. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to figure that out because that power is not great on that thing right there. All right, let's give it a second here. When I hit that bump, it jiggled the power cable or something under the fuse box over there. So we're gonna have to. I was kind of wondering because that thing is so freaking loose. Like, you know, it's not gonna affect your tune or anything. Your tune is still gonna be perfectly fine because the tune is downloaded onto your PCM now. So you're perfectly fine there. But your gauges are gonna, you know, quit on this. Holy sh! That is not okay. That is whoa. Yeah, that power cable is not holding tight. I need to fix that. That needs to be fixed. That's not gonna work for me. Like it jiggling like that. Nope. I'm gonna have to fix that power cable. But anyway, it doesn't affect your tune because the tune is already on the PCM. Watch. Holy shit, Oli. That was only 3/4 throttle. Now you can definitely hear it pinging with the 87 octane. So yeah, we're gonna have to probably bump it up to 92 tune if we're gonna be doing hard pulls like that. And it's geared to fuel up higher as well too when you hit watt. Now we didn't go watt yet. I mean, just that much already wakes this thing up, and then you have it tuned differently on top of that. And see, this is what I'm talking about, my fellow Europeans here, because yeah, it may seem out of factory, it's like, yeah, our big engines don't put out a lot. Well, it's done intentionally. And the thing is, you can wake them up a lot just by decucking them. You just do a little decucking, and you will get the power that you're expecting out of a 6 freaking liter. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. I'm kind of at a loss for words right now, to be brutally honest with you. Okay. That is insane. Let's see, does it do any engine braking for me? Let's see if I get totally off throttle here. It's not set up for towing. So it's just holding. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do something about that power cable, because that power cable is not going to hold during bumpy roads and stuff. Right there, that fuse tap, Yeah, that's not great. As I saw, it was kind of wiggly, and I was kind of wondering, is that going to hold really well? That needs to be tightened up. Yeah, it needs to definitely be tightened up. Just get right on the throttle, and it just immediately locks the gear. Immediately selects the next one. Boom. There's just no questions, no more rubber banding. Wow. This is so much more controllable now. Holy shit, holy. Let's see, just the light one now. Peak power is just after the 3000, about 3325 RPM. Once it hits it, it's just like all of a sudden it just like hits boost or something. It gives you that exact same feeling. That's called coming on cam. I don't know if it's really coming on cam or not, or that's just how the torque curve is. Probably this is how the torque curve is, but it is push rod, so that could make a little difference. But man, it sounds so clean. Mean and clean. Oh yeah. Oh, all right. We're gonna stop and get some gas, and then just right here in the corner store. We're heading into town right now, and then we're gonna bump it back over, head on home, and that's it for tonight, I guess. I can definitely feel the all-wheel drive system is in. It's engaged right now. Like I feel it in the steering wheel. I can feel each wheel grabbing for traction. Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping it would do. Like as I'm turning, I can feel resistance of the wheels. And as I hit different bumps, I could feel each wheel grabbing for traction. So usually with these Denalis, they usually kick in about under 15 miles an hour, under 30 sometimes. I've heard both. I've experienced it like under 30 mostly. And then usually if you're not like slipping or anything, by around 15 miles per hour, it'll auto disconnect, and it won't connect unless something slips. Right now it feels like it's just engaged at all times, which is probably gonna eat the shit out of my fuel, but God, it feels good though. It feels good. Oh shit, I didn't pull up to the pump. God damn it, got sidetracked again. All right, let's back it up. Back it up. Beep, 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 beep. We lost them. All right, let's go this way. Let's go ahead and get some gas so that we can move our ass. And then we'll be back. And we'll go ahead and run her back home, man. Holy shit, holy. Woo! All right, let's go get gas. I got about $30 of gas, which is, unfortunately, only a little over 5 gallons. Where's this guy going? All right, let's go ahead and whip around here. Cool, all right, we got it. Let's go ahead, we'll cut back on the other road here. So we can give her a little punch-oly. Let's be careful of that bump there, because we're gonna lose our communicator. All right, here we go, here we go. See, I gotta fix that power cord there, because that is not gonna be okay. But anyway, the tune is not gone. Woo, had to slow down a little bit over that bump there. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that power cable, because that is not holding anything good. Holy shit, dude, this thing is spicy. This thing is spicy. See, every time I hit a bump, that is not gonna work for me, man. I'm gonna have to shrink that the fuck down, because that is not okay. I might just head up to the shop and just shrink that in a little bit tighter, because that's gonna be bugging the living shit out of me every time I hit a bump, and I'm on a bumpy road all the damn time. Woo! What the hell is happening here? Accident, I guess. Yeah, like every fucking time I hit a bump, this is gonna annoy the fuck out of me. I'm gonna have to do something different about that. We can go up the hill here. All right, here we go. We're gonna head back up to the shop tonight, tighten that up here, because all we need to do is just crimp it a little bit tighter, and she should hold pretty good. Now that's what we're gonna do. Just with a pair of pliers, crimp it, trim it, limp it. There we go. But the tune is this is just really pissing me off. Engine light on. Why is the engine light on? What the fuck is that about? Okay. Why did the engine light come on now? What happened? All right, let's pull off over here. Let's see real quick here what we can do. All right, let me see about that code here right now. Let's see what that was all about. Pissing it off or something. Let's see, menu. Install, download, gauge setup, user setup, performance testing. Driver coach setup. Vehicle settings. Special functions. Diagnostics. Let's see diagnostics. Let's see what DTC threw here. It's kind of cool that I can do that. I wonder if it's one DTC found. Okay. Let's see, display DTC. Let's see what it says. Mass or volume airflow circuit range performance. Ah, okay, yeah, so that's not a big deal. All right, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and just clear that one. That was probably because when I pushed it too hard, it probably wasn't flowing correctly. Cool. Got that. Okay, now what happened? Okay, you're gonna come back on? Hello? Yeah, well, we're gonna have to fix that. We're gonna head up to the shop. I'm just gonna squeeze that tight. You guys know how to do that. You just basically squeeze your terminals tight so it actually grips onto the actual spade right there, or the tap essentially. The spade needs to grip the tap. Anyway, she looks like she's doing good. Doing good, doing good. Let's see if she's still performing. Ooh, all right. Hopefully the performance tune is still on there. I don't know if it is. I don't feel like it is. Is it? Let's see. That ain't right. Let's see, do we still have the tune? Doesn't feel like we do anymore. That feels a little bit more like normal here. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this. This is not right. Alright, well, I'm gonna redo this, basically the whole thing I just did right now, up at the shop again. I'm gonna get this done tonight. It's already 8:15. Is it 8:15 or 7:15? Fucking 8:15, god damn it. The whole night's gone. Alright, I'm gonna have to fix this because that is just pissing me the hell off, man. That is just... that is not okay. Alright, welcome back to the actual test. This is kind of a test on a slightly different day. I'm still going to show you the original test in the long form there. I'm going to show you this newer test, and somebody hit the damn pole again. Huh. Well, that a bitch. We're going to show you again. It's not quite fully dry, but as I tested out in the full wet yesterday, this thing seems to hook up very, very well with the bully dog. Let's go ahead and test it again. We're going to give her a romper. We got a nice straight route. Let some traffic clear here. We're going to go for it. Let's see what the bully dog can do, and we're going to do a side-by-side, or at least one after the other with the stock filming. And you see I'm doing the Michael Jackson thing so I can operate the camera. Anyway, let's rock it, baby. As soon as this guy P-asses, and now that guy P-asses, then we can go. But not until then. But until now. This thing, once it hits 3 grand, 3,000 RPM, this thing pushes you back in a flipping seat, man. It's just, it's insanity. All right, let's rock it. Rock it to me, rock it to me. Okay, here we go, here we go. We're gonna bump it. Oh, shit! That was a 4-wheel spin. Holy shit! That's nationally rated. That was the first time I ever did full throttle in this thing with the bully dog. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that again. I do need to catch the gauge cluster though, so I am gonna have to do it again. Okay, let's flip the camera around. Let's do one more run so you guys can see too. Okay, here we go, everybody. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, you son of a! God damn it! Really? Fucking really? You were supposed to go the other way. Son of a bitch. All right, well, let's let him slack forward a little bit. All right, now we're gonna give it. Woo! Woo! That was a good bumper. See, that guy was right up on my ass. His back way back there. He didn't want to try to keep up. Woo! Now, of course, that wasn't quite as hard of a punch as we did facing towards me because, well, now we have somebody who just decided to turn in front of us. Son of a bitch. And I'm already going to be late for work, so I'm not going to redo this test. And I can see the guy's catching up to me finally. Woo! Alright, so that wasn't quite as severe, but you can see as soon as it hits over 3,000 RPM, man, it punches pretty damn good. Oh, that was fun. This truck is fun. Well, let's see. We're going to try doing another run with the gauges here. Let's see if we can break out of traffic here. And see if we can get onto the main Canley Road. And then at that point, we can hopefully open it up a little bit and traffic ain't too bad. Right now, intake temp, 48 degrees. 44 outside. And it seems like as soon as you're driving and moving, actually, sorry, 51 degrees. I misread the wrong thing. That was mileage right there, miles per hour. All right, so 51 degrees and 44 outside ambient. So not bad. As soon as you start driving, it starts pulling in cold air. That intake temperature drops. So it is pulling in cold air even open. That's kind of interesting because everyone tells you, oh, that's a hot air intake. Well, no, if you let it sit, it does actually heat up. Yeah, it gets up to, I think, total of 120 degrees, like fully sitting, idling the whole time. That's something that we're gonna have to address for the summertime, of course. It's nothing terrible, you know, mind you. But it will cause, you know, pre-detonation and other stuff. And it'll just reduce your power. So what is the point of having it done up that way? All right, now this guy's finally off my ass here. All right, let's see if we can do it again. 3,000. Shit. This is a close course in Mexico, by the way, YouTube. Yeah, let's go with that. Woo! And of course, because we couldn't hit it right off the line like that, we had to let it build up and get on the cam. That was nice. As soon as it gets over that 3,000 RPM, man, it's almost like VTEC kicked in, yo. It's like that same feeling. Oh, that dude is way the back there. He was riding my ass earlier. That person was right there in front of me. It's way back there. Way back there. Woo! Buddy dog. Oh, too bad we didn't have any space to hit it right off the line. We're going to try here on Kincan, like I said. Give it one more run. Man, once it's over that 3,000 RPM, this thing is a screamer. Holy shit. A truck this big, I mean big, it's small by today's standards, but for its day, it was a big, heavy beast. Full luxury truck, not stripped out, stock everything, stock internals. The other thing we got going on right now is, of course, the now flash tune. And this time I didn't hear it pinging. There was no pre-detonation, but of course intake temperature is about 20 degrees lower than what it was on the day of our initial testing. And of course I reflashed it. I set up the tune a little bit differently, a little less power. It's on a full performance mode, like it was dumping a lot of fuel during a wide open throttle, WOT, W-O-T. It's not doing that anymore. I took that out and tuned that down and tuned it back. So we're not getting quite as much of a scream like we did on the first few runs. That's fine. Again, we want longevity. We don't want to damage the vehicle, and we don't want to have pre-detonation because it's not helping you anyway. That was a lot cleaner, much quieter, no pre-detonation that time. Woo, the thing screams like a bitch. I mean, yeah, sure, you know, it's no Corvette ZL1 or whatever. It's no Corvette ZR1, I mean, and Camaro ZL1 or whatever. No, it's not. It isn't. Come on, let's be honest here. It's an all-wheel drive truck, but the all-wheel drive does kick in at more speeds now than it did originally. So it's definitely a well-done tune. Very, very good tune. I'm very, very happy with this. Extremely well done. Very intelligent design. Good glages. Good glages and riboflavin. Good gauges. Very good gauges there. You can read whatever you need to read. You can even do pyro. You can do all kinds of different setups here. I have it set up right now, customized to what I like, which is going to be throttle on analog plus throttle digital. And then, of course, speed, because it does help doing school zones, intake temp, and coolant temp. Because transmission temp, you could pretty much like just adjust it here. Of course, I have my alarms and warnings set up on this thing too, in case anything gets a little too hot, too spicy. It's pretty good. But this way I can also gauge like how much I'm doing here, and I also have whether, you know, overdrive on or drive gear, whether or not we're park neutral, and then of course whether or not traction control is locked in. Right now it unlocked during the stop right now, so that way we can monitor exactly when traction control, which is how the all-wheel drive system operates. There's no selector. No selector here. There's no manual way to lock it in. You can lock it in through the bully dog, however. Even here with the traction control button, you can't really lock it in. Traction control is engaged right now. It'll just go whenever it goes, and that's kind of the main thing with it. So this helps quite a bit. Smart design, a lot more involved, but you get a lot more out of it. And for only 40 bucks more over the Vortex, that was back in 2012, 2014 era when I bought it for the GMT800. Big difference. Big difference. I almost want to get another one of these whenever I can for the 400 and tune her up that way. But although 200 with that high a mileage, I think the Vortex does a good enough job on her. Anyway, light just turned green. Let's grab another Ripski. A Ripski Van Winkle Tinkle. We're gonna have a little bit of a hill. Gotta get around the traffic here. Woo! Woo! Shit! That front wheel kicks in and it just pulls you like a bitch. Holy shit, there's my glove sitting right on. That was a good catch. I was laying on my coffee. You stay there, buddy. Holy shit. Ooh, this is good. This is good. Whoa. Yeah, once it comes over that 3,000 RPM, man, it's on like Donkey Kong, man. This thing don't F around, man. It don't F around until it makes you find out before you F around. Holy guacamole, man. That is awesome. Oh, that is different. That is different. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be like all of a sudden now it's a 500 horsepower beast. Now you gained a little bit, but the way it's mapped and tuned is gonna allow you to get the most out of the power, or at least close to the most of the power that you can. They come detuned from the factory intentionally for comfort and longevity, fuel economy, all this stuff. This pretty much takes away all that and just gives you some much more raw performance without a whole lot of sacrifice with everything else. Now, in straight out of the box like we did that night, it's a lot more performance biased, which I did not like, so I actually detuned it here through its system to make it a little bit more everyday driver friendly and to make it a little bit more comfort oriented here. Ooh, but what I also like about it too is it locks in those higher gear, sorry. Locks in your higher gear so that way you can actually like just pull on torque, which is very nice. You don't have to downshift. Now I did because I went wide open throttle there, or close to it. I was like 97% throttle or something, 96%. According to that thing, I have to look back at the film again. But whew, damn, that was the front wheel, like the front wheel drive part of this thing just kicked in. It was like it was all spinning. It was just all spinning again. I was like, holy shit. Wow. That is, it didn't do that before, that's for damn sure. Holy guacamole. Man, Bully Dog, go get you one. You're gonna love it, man. It does all different 6 liters, 5.3, 4.8. And that's just GM. It also does your Dodges. It also does your Fjords. It also does other things. You'll look at the list. Anyway, it's pretty sick. For the same tuner. And you can bump them between different vehicles because you can have storage space and you can actually download it now on a modern software, modern computer, and it gives you all that software and stuff. You don't have to go find a third party like you do with the Vortex. Fantastic. I love it. I like it. I want more of it, however the saying goes. Yeah, go get you one, man. Go get you one. It's a little spendy, but it's well worth it. If you tow, haul, just haul ass, whatever, get a Bully Dog. Don't worry about Hypertech. Don't worry about none of those. Bully Dog. Bully Dog. Plain simple, Bully Dog. All right, I think we addressed that enough. You get the idea. Go get your one. You're gonna freaking love it. Woo! That's a spicy meatball. Anyway, so if you liked this truck stuff, well, don't forget to check out the rest of the playlist here, where we do a whole bunch of muck and trucking stuff, including a bunch of repairs, as we did. Continuing on this project here, as we're getting this truck back up to pristine finish, presentation, and also get it more power, less problems, baby. So we got a lot of stuff to go through, and we're still got a lot more stuff to do next, but we did a lot already. Check out those playlists here, and don't forget to check out the GMT800, both the modifications, but also the revival of the 400 as well too, for your ultimate budget junkyard overlander truck. Yeah, baby. And don't forget to check out this last video here, where we took care of the initial step of this, which is to get rid of the goddamn engine light, which was because it was an O2 sensor that went out. You got to do that first because this relies on having proper signal from your O2 sensors. That tells it how much air fuel mix is coming through, burning out, what's left, and it allows it to adjust. Otherwise, it's just dumping raw fuel. You don't want that unless you're going to introduce substantially more air and unnaturally aspirated. You can't. So you're just wasting fuel, causing pre-detonation, clogging up your cats, and you're just creating a lot of carbon. It's just not, there's no value to it whatsoever. And you're not gonna get the proper tune out of here either. So that is your first step that we had to do, which is a huge pain in the ass, but I walk you through step by step of how to do all 4, both upstream and downstream on both banks, in this last video over here. So don't forget to go check it out, and don't forget to smack this big ass fugly nose here to check out the rest of the 5 series that we do, including guiding you how to be a small creator, because, well, I actually did it. I learned some stuff that the gurus don't even talk about. So there you go. Also, how to do a bunch of DIY shit. We do a lot of that too. Tools. Well, duh. Trucks. Well, you already know that part. And air rifles and alternate hunting for you, which somehow the YouTube keep trying to restrict it, but then I like argue with them, and then they let it out again for a few days, and they try to restrict it, and I argue with them. It's just back and forth, back and forth. But so far they're allowing it after I argue with them. So good, because we have more stuff back there. Holy guacamole. Yeah. That's gonna be some good shit. Really budget, actual hunting stuff, including some night vision. Oh yeah, we got night vision, baby. The fuzzy fixer's going dark. And of course, not only do we have a lot to do on every single truck, but I'm walking you through step by step, which is why the videos are long, detailed, and we break it up into episodes. So you too can save a shit ton of money. You'd also get the truck and car that you want and need without spending $80,000. F that. So let's get her done. And that's what the whole point of this entire series is. For both of them and more. Click on that shit. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Stay wild. Woo!